So during Super Bowl week, we hear about a lot of friendly wagers. Today, we do want to highlight one with a connection to former Denver Bronco quarterback Brian Griese and a nonprofit that has helped families for decades. Brian started Judi's House more than 20 years ago. He named it after his mom, who died from breast cancer when he was 12 years old. Judi's House helps grieving families, mostly children, cope with the loss of a loved one. Brian, as we mentioned, now the quarterback's coach for the San Francisco 49ers, and so the CEO for Judi's House, Jessica Mayo, is joining us right now. Judi's House just celebrated 20 years. You have a brand new facility, and the need is still there.
It's so true, Kim. It's kind of amazing. With our 20th anniversary last year, we tallied the numbers. Since we opened our doors, we have seen more than 14,000 people come through our doors asking for support in terms of death loss for a child and making sure that we have the clinically appropriate services there to support grieving children and their families. So there's an incredible need for the work that we do.
I know your facility is amazing, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Brian started this, but his wife, Dr. Brooke Griese, is trained in this as well. But these services are free. You help kids know that, as Brian said, you're not alone.
That's such an important point. We are named Judi's House after his mother, as you said. And one of the things that he and his amazing wife, Brooke, wanted to make sure was in our community to stay is a place that really helps kids know that when they're grieving, that there are other kids that look like them, that they're not alone in that process, that they can sit in a room with other children with similar experiences and with clinical support to help them know that, you know, really through connection comes healing. So that's what we try to facilitate every night in our work.
I have seen and heard the stories many times when the kids come back when they're young adults and they say, this made the difference. This is how I got through this.
Yeah.
And when we think about a loss, it can be anything. It can be an accident. It can be cancer. It can be suicide. It can be so many complicated things, addictions.
Yeah.
And they have a lot to process.
It's so true, Kim. In fact, one of the things that is sad in a way, but the demand for our services is so large that we are able to actually group kids on every given night based on their death loss experience. So on one evening, we may have kids that are coping with the death of a parent through suicide. On another evening, it may be anticipated illnesses and long-term illnesses, so that you're really connecting on a level that is relevant for your personal experience, especially with the stigma that can come from accidental overdose or suicide, so kids can feel safe talking to other kids who've had similar experiences.
Well, we know Brian and Brooke, obviously in San Francisco, but their hearts are here in Denver with this work. So you guys sought the opportunity here because you're a nonprofit to place a little bet.
Yeah.
So tell me about the bet.
Well, Kim, I know you know Brian, so one thing I will say, he is our founder, and you won't be surprised to know there's a focus at Judi's House because of Brian and Brooke on excellence and competition.
Yes.
So we did not tarry in taking the opportunity to challenge another grief center in Kansas City. So we are hoping to see which grief center can raise the most amount of financial donations by the time the Super Bowl comes along. And really both of these grief centers need that financial support because everything we do is through philanthropy. So it's a lovely wager. And I will say the losing CEO will be wearing the jersey of the other team. So we have a 49ers jersey in the works ready to send their way when we win, because we know Denver will come through for Judi's House.
They will. Well, no matter what, I think year round, I hope people educate themselves about Judi's House and the great work you do, and supporting all families, because parents struggle sometimes when children are grieving. You have support groups with them, and you really embrace everyone.
We do. We really consider ourselves to be a family systems approach. So if there's a grieving child, we wrap our arms around that entire family and support them in all ways that we can. So yes, we are grateful to be able to serve this community in that way and carry that tradition on.
So they can donate judishouse.org, am I right?
Correct, judishouse.org, and you can get involved in the wager. We're already tallying. I think before I came over, we're up to 1,700, but we just started, so we hope we've got lots of folks who will join in and help us win on this front too.
That's good. Well, we'll spend that way. We don't need extra beer maybe on Sunday. Okay. We want to help Brian win all the way around. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you, Kim.